And if I never been in love before, and all I want to see is you forevermore. And maybe millions of people go by, and all disappear from you. And I only have eyes, no, I only have eyes. I only have my life for you. She's gonna come back again, but until then.
Good evening. Good evening. It's wonderful for those of you who are not talking to see you all here. Yeah. Thank you. It's great to have you here this evening. Thank you for coming. I don't know if you realise it, but you're in the bookshop. But you're in a very special part of the bookshop. 5 years ago, we opened this Ray's Jazz, and we're delighted that we did so. Ray, from whom we bought the business, I'm glad to say, is here with us this evening. And it's one of the best moves we ever made, and we're very, very pleased with what subsequently happened. When we opened 5 years ago, we were delighted to welcome George Milley as our special guest, and subsequently he came to 3 more special appearances and was particularly outrageous at one of them, as I'm sure those of you who know George, he can do behave, particularly when he's had 1 or 2. And sadly, of course, he can't be with us tonight, but we've had a very nice message from his dear wife Diana, who sends her best wishes. We're delighted to welcome back, I say back because I think he was only here once before, Jamie Cullum this evening, who's going to play for us in a moment. I met Jamie for the first time when he and I were guests on the recently departed Ned Sherrin's radio programme Loose Ends. We had a wonderful time together with 3 or 4 other people, and then Ned just took us to the pub afterwards, and we had a great time. And that was my first experience of Jamie, when hardly any of you ever knew him. And now look how famous he is. I'm now going to hand you over to Bill, my cousin, co-director and partner in crime. Bill.
I'm going to say very little, except that it certainly doesn't seem like 5 years ago that Paul Pace tried to persuade me that we needed a jazz shop and not a cafe. And after some interesting discussion, we got a sort of compromise. The result is fantastic.
I really appreciate that. And but I've got my own thanks as well. Thanks to Bill especially, because Bill was the one who championed Ray's to the Foyles management and the board of directors. I'd also like to go further back and thank Ray Smith and Glyn Cullen and Mike Gavin, of course, first of all starting Ray's in the first place and keeping it going for a little bit longer, so we did have that grace period in order that we could try out other possibilities. So that has to be commended, because pretty much all the other shops had disappeared. Mull lasted another couple of years, and Dobell's had already gone. Dobell's was, the most famous, I suppose, of all the specialist jazz record shops next to Ray's. And it's so good that we're able to continue a tradition that actually brings real music to people. People not actually hearing real music played on real instruments, real voices going through there, feeling it in your gut as you sit there. It's what it should all be about.
How I never constant, take care of my foolish heart. There's a line between love and fascination. That's hard to see on evening sunset. For they both breathe the very same sensation. When love in the madness of a king. Her lips are much too close to mine. My foot is hard. But should our eager lips combine, the firestone this time gets a fascination for a dream.